You've no doubt heard the saying before, money does not buy happiness. In this article, you even have a neuroscientist confirming this. And while I do think they're full of shit, let's examine what money can buy. Apparently, money can make you go through puberty. I mean, look at the difference. Oh, what's this? You just broke up with your boyfriend? Oh my god, that sucks. But would it still suck if I placed you on a yacht next to a Caribbean island? Oh my god, what? You just got laid off of work because the economy sucks and you can't afford your rent payment? Man, stop bluffing. We all know you live here. The only thing getting kicked out are poor people because you live in a gated community. I mean, seriously, isn't money awesome? But we can't talk about money without mentioning the richest man on the planet, Elon Musk. He's currently worth over $400 billion all by himself on January 2025. And he's living proof that the neuroscientist in that article wasn't all full of shit. You see, Elon can buy yachts and mansions and hell, maybe even small countries if he wanted to, but even all this money couldn't buy his deepest desire. He wanted to be loved and worshipped by everyone, even if it meant that he risked losing everything in the process. I mean, seriously, how do you go from having an article written like this about you, where the title is How Elon Musk Became the Most Badass CEO in the World, to having everyone talk about your downfall? This is the story of Elon Musk, the world's most shameless and pathetic grifter. Let's talk about it. Most people were introduced to Elon Musk through Tesla, the electric car manufacturer. He had invested millions into it early on and became its chairman a few years later. Tesla was a pioneer in electric vehicle manufacturing because it came at a time where other cars looked like this. Who the hell would drive any of these? I mean, seriously, they are so ugly. And yet Tesla was coming out with these incredible looking cars that were electric and still managed to not look ridiculously ugly, making traditional car buyers genuinely take a step back and think, wait, I could see myself driving this, even though it's electric. But that wasn't the only thing Elon was known for. No. After he sold his stake in PayPal to eBay, he used $100 million of his own money to create SpaceX, one of, if not the biggest space technology companies on this planet as of today. Dude was simply everywhere and was seemingly spearheading these companies single-handedly with his very talented employees. Being the head of such companies contributed to his reputation quite positively. Elon Musk was seen as a sleek and mysterious billionaire like a Model S from Tesla, all while managing to appear awesome and explosive like a SpaceX rocket. At one point, he made a cameo in one of the Iron Man movies, and to many it was perfect because they could see him as the IRL Tony Stark. A charismatic, genius, playboy billionaire. And for a time, that's exactly how people perceived him. Just like Tony Stark, he would work ridiculously hard, having the infamous reputation of sleeping in his own office at the factory floor days on end. At the same time, he was managing to be a playboy, dating Amber Heard at some point. I wonder if she left him a surprise in his bed when he woke up. He also not only dated the singer Grimes, but had multiple children with her. He wasn't just a hard worker and a playboy, but he also was impulsive, in a cool way, much like Tony Stark, again. During his SpaceX launch, he decided to just send a Tesla car to space because why not? And I want you to look at this paragraph written in a BBC article about him. Look at this. They say, he has cornered private spaceflight and the electric car industry, ventured into solar energy and artificial intelligence, and promised super high-speed magnetic train travel in a tube underground. Oh, and he plans to colonize Mars. This paragraph is crazy for a multitude of reasons. First off, they're glazing him so hard you might as well think that they're carrying his firstborn child, but at the same time, it seems like he's a fictional character when in reality he exists. But something wasn't adding up in all this, something wasn't making sense. According to the survey from Statista, 50% of people from 18 to 29 years old think that the existence of billionaires is a bad thing. And this is totally understandable. The younger generation's always online, and billionaires really struggle to have a good public image. I mean, you have Jeff Bezos, who's like a creepy modern-day slaver with a wonky eye. You have Bill Gates, who's seen as a vampire obsessed with mosquitoes. Do I even have to bother? I mean, seriously, he does not even look human, bro. Like, are we from the same planet? Elon Musk was contending with whatever the hell this is, and obviously, he was winning. The other billionaires were so jealous because, unlike them, the public loved him. Nothing he did aligned with the norms, and yet it kept working out every single time. I mean, the guy woke up one day and was like, you know what? I want to make flamethrowers and sell them to consumers. He announced it on Twitter, made 20,000 units priced at $500 each, and within 5 days, it sold out completely. Give me another CEO that can do this. Who the hell even needs a flamethrower? But people bought it anyway because it was cool, he was cool, and they wanted to associate with him. Let's not forget how this dude released a song called Rip Harambe under his record label titled Emoji Records. Okay, sure, it was one of the worst things I've ever heard in my entire life, but hey, it's sitting at 3 million views. Give me one other billionaire that can do that. At some point, Elon got in trouble with the SEC. He was tweeting about how he wanted to take Tesla private. He was frustrated with his shareholders and said that the private price was going to be $420. He chose this price because of 420 being a reference to weed because he wanted to amuse his girlfriend. The guy was an absolute nutcase, but it was funny and it was entertaining and it worked. Oh, and speaking of weed, you would have been living under a rock if you didn't see this at least once in your life. If you were on the internet when this happened, it would have been impossible to not see everyone and their mother, sister, and brother sharing memes about this very moment in which Elon Musk smoked a blunt on Joe Rogan's podcast. This cool billionaire wearing an Occupy Mars shirt, smoking a blunt, broke the internet and became a defining moment in pop culture history. Another defining moment was him appearing in one of PewDiePie's meme reviews, currently sitting at over 28 million views. He appeared at the end, and look, this is like the most replayed part, just him being here reviewing memes. People would keep spamming clips of every meme he reacted to and his reaction associated with it, and even made memes of his reactions. The internet couldn't get enough of this guy. It was getting annoying, to be honest. Oh, and guys, just as you thought that he couldn't get any cooler, guess what? Dude was also a gamer. He streamed Diablo 4 and apparently was one of the highest ranked Diablo 4 players on the planet. How could he manage being a billionaire, a playboy, a hard worker, and a very good gamer? Damn, he could do it all. But wait, he's not just any gamer, he's also an OG gamer, claiming to have played Quake and claiming to have been one of its best players. Not to mention that he thinks Elden Ring is the most beautiful art he's ever seen. Guys, Elon Musk plays Elden Ring. Could this guy get any cooler? Was he even aware of how cool he was? Well, yes, and it really got to his head. He was just like Icarus from Greek mythology. He realized he had wings, he flew to the sky, loved the wind, loved the clouds, he wanted to go further high up, and ended up flying right into the sun. If you think about it, Elon was trying to appease everyone from every community. He wanted social media users to like him, weed smokers to like him, video game players to like him, almost like a grifter would. Except he got away with it until he couldn't anymore. Look, Elon was always ambitious in the things that he set out to do. He's been saying that SpaceX will lead humanity to Mars for as long as I can remember. But this rhetoric behind humanity and what he can do for humanity started getting out of control. This idea of him wanting to help humanity flourish made him appear the same way other billionaires did, out of touch. He would tell people to have more children, with him having many. But when a billionaire says that to someone who can barely make ends meet by themselves, that's not brave or courageous. That's not saving humanity. That's just being out of touch with today's economy. This rhetoric of helping humanity would truly and decisively bite him in the ass when he bought Twitter, claiming that he was doing it to help humanity. The entire process took months, and it cost him over $44 billion. With him backtracking halfway through saying there were too many bots on the platform, but eventually it finally did go through. He was the owner of Twitter. And with that, it was official. Elon Musk's newest grift was going to be Twitter. But this time, he wasn't sleek and mysterious. He wasn't cool and explosive. He was someone who genuinely seemed like he had no idea what he was doing. And people weren't really used to seeing that. Guy almost backed off from buying Twitter, even suing them at some point because of how many bots were on the website. But as soon as he bought the website, you had, for as long as I can remember, porn bots everywhere. He had revamped the verification system where you pay $8 to get a check mark. He claimed this was to completely purge the bots. But all the porn bots had a check mark, and they would appear as soon as you tweet saying, link in bio, or even, I'm looking for sex, but do you want? It was a disaster, and internally at Twitter, even though he had laid off most employees, it wasn't any better. Leaks would start to surface showing what kind of boss Elon is, in which Elon would summon top-level engineers telling them, why isn't my tweet appearing as often as another tweet? Boost the algorithm for me now. And while some doubted that the leak was fake, like, come on, dude, you cannot be the richest man in the world and be so insecure, They started scrolling through their feed on Twitter and noticing, wait, why am I seeing so many Elon tweets? I don't even follow him. Is he really a crazy psychotic boss? Then the next thing being exposed was his hypocrisy. He said he was buying Twitter for humanity's free speech, tweeting this out saying, "My commitment to free speech extends even to not banning the account following my plane, even though that is a direct personal safety risk." You see, there used to be this Twitter account that tracked Elon Musk's private jet wherever it went. It used publicly available data and tweeted it out whenever there was an update. Elon's always had an issue with that, and even sued Twitter for not banning that account with the handle ElonJet. This was all before he bought Twitter. So he made this tweet to truly prove, no, guys, I really care about free speech. Well, the only good thing he added to Twitter was the community notes. And even that went against him here, saying the implied account in this tweet is ElonJet, which is currently banned. And it still is to this day. It was apparent. This whole idea of free speech and buying Twitter to save humanity was yet another grift under Elon's belt. Twitter under Musk was already struggling hard, but when he replied with, "You have said the actual truth," to a tweet that says that Jewish communities have been pushing hatred against white people, many companies paying for advertising chose to boycott Twitter. In a moment that would resemble Tony Stark in an Iron Man movie, he was asked, "What do you think about advertisers boycotting you?" He looked at the camera and said, "Go f*** yourself."
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself.
I think the crowd was a bit quieter than he was expecting. I think he was expecting applause. But hey, to his credit, that is a Tony Stark moment. Except it didn't really last very long. Twitter's finances would start to hurt pretty damn bad. And he would go on to sue the companies boycotting him. I don't know how that works exactly. I don't know how you can sue someone for not wanting to give you money, but this is something that Tony Stark wouldn't do. This was a far cry from where he was seen years ago. This quirky playboy charismatic genius. Things were looking really bad for his public image. But just as you thought that things couldn't get worse, they did. Elon's fan base was already dwindling, following his tweets, his public behavior, his backpedaling, his grifting, and yet, overnight, he decided to split that remaining fan base in half, alienating 50% of his audience. The American election was well underway, and one of its candidates, Donald Trump, was almost assassinated during a campaign rally. It was an iconic moment in American history, and for many, this image is why he won the 2024 election. Shortly after it happened, Elon Musk tweeted this out saying, "I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery," making his first political endorsement in years and splitting half his audience overnight. This is why, as a public figure, it's really important to weigh the risks of whether you want to be political or not. And I don't think he really did that. He then started appearing in Trump rallies. And I mean, just looking at this image and thinking back on the cool, laid-back, charismatic, genius tech CEO smoking weed on Joe Rogan's podcast, it almost seems like they're not even the same person, like it's one of his clones or something. His awkwardness wasn't quirky anymore, it was just annoying. But it was official. Politics was going to be Elon Musk's next newest grift. He wasn't just giving his support, he was also giving his money, vowing to give $1 million every single day for swing state voters, up to $100 million. But as he was knee-deep into this one grift, he was exposed for another grift of his, where he turned out to be a liar, losing yet more of his already dwindling fan base and further hurting his reputation. To make matters worse, it was all over a video game by the name of Path of Exile 2. Path of Exile 2 had just come out, and just like Diablo 4, Elon Musk's account was ranked top 20, ranked 12th right here with the name of Perseverance. But the streamer Quinn was not having any of this, arguing that some of the top players were streaming 20 hours and almost 40 hours sometimes at a time just to keep up with being top 20. It simply didn't add up how someone like him, who's always busy working, would be almost in top 10 competing with other people playing for 40 hours at a time. What really exposed Elon was when he streamed the game on Twitter, showing us that he had no knowledge of some of the most basic game mechanics, not knowing how to even teleport on the map. Elon had some of the best gear in the entire game and had nothing to say about it except saying, "Oh yeah, this is level 56, this is level 60, I need to level it up." That's it. He had nothing else to say. Things were not adding up and people weren't going to let him get away with it. Now, Asmongold, one of the biggest streamers on Twitch, decided to react to Quinn's video and agreed with him. Yes, Elon Musk was simply lying. He wasn't actually top 12 by himself. And almost immediately after Asmund released his reaction video, garnering more than 2 million views, Elon Musk personally took away Asmongold's blue checkmark on Twitter and unfollowed him. Now, yes, this is already quite embarrassing, but he didn't stop there. He tweeted out, Asmund behaves like a maverick independent, but in reality has to ask his boss for permission before he can do anything. He is not his own man. Leaking DMs between him and Asmund, with Asmund saying, I'm going to see if my editors might want to make a second account for it even. Elon replying with, sure, who are these mysterious editors? And Asmund saying, 2 guys, and they basically run the entire YouTube account. So basically any content I post is edited or uploaded by them and they just get a cut of the ad revenue. It's a super good system, to be honest. Almost everyone on YouTube does it. And Elon says, interesting. So listen, get this, okay? Asmongold has this channel called Asmongold TV. He has 2 editors that run this account. What they do is, while he's streaming, they'll look for moments where he reacts to a video or plays something or whatever, and then upload it as a standalone video on his channel. As you can see here, 19 minutes ago, 3 hours ago, 8 hours ago, he uploads like 5 to 6 times a day if there's a lot of content on the stream. And his editors will upload sometimes while he's streaming. They're very quick. He doesn't do anything except just stream. So the agreement he has with them is that they get a percentage of the ad revenue on this channel for their hard work. That's all Asmund was saying to Elon, okay? Elon is so thick in the head, all right? Elon is so stupid that he thought this meant that Asmongold was working for his 2 editors and he couldn't do anything without their permission. When he leaked these DMs, he thought he was going to be ending Asmongold's career, okay? Like this dude was genuinely convinced. Oh man, I'm going to expose him. I'm going to make everyone understand he's a fraud. No, you idiot. You just leaked DMs and embarrassed yourself. But it didn't end here. He got community noted by his own platform. Here's what it said. According to X's policies, sharing someone else's private messages without their express authorization and permission is generally against this platform's terms of service. And he just broke it. But he wasn't done. He added, I'm on hundreds of streams on YouTube and Twitch playing live with the world's best players. No other way to say this, but while Asmund is good at caustic commentary and making fun of people, he is not good at video games. Community notes, yet again, made sure to list Asmongold's achievements, specifically in World of Warcraft. Elon was not looking good at all. He owns 7 companies, paid $44 billion for this website, and was still embarrassing himself on it due to a video game feud. What a far cry from where he used to be years ago. Asmongold quote tweeted this tweet, saying, leaking my DMs is one thing, but this is absolutely uncalled for, drawing the line at being called a bad gamer. This story started reaching people who had nothing to do with games because it was simply so ridiculous, with Forbes even writing an article about it. Eventually, Elon relented, and he admitted, yes, other people play on my account. The Path of Exile streamer Nico Rex DM'd him and shared the DMs, of course, with Elon's permission, unlike when he leaked Asmongold's DMs. He said, the top accounts in Diablo or PoE require multiple people playing the account to win a leveling race, pretty much apologizing for nothing and saying that all top players do what he's doing. They don't, by the way. They literally play 40 hours at a time sometimes with no sleep. So he didn't even try to salvage the situation. He was a clown and he remained a clown. He also realized how wrong he was about Asmongold and his editors, so he deleted his tweets. This whole idea that he's a gamer and can relate to other gamers turned out to be yet another grift. At this point, the illusion was completely gone. People started going back to his old tweets and realized, wait a second, this guy is a grifter. He posted his build in Elden Ring and he's carrying 2 shields. Why is he carrying 2 shields? What are these stats? Like, do you even understand what you're doing over here? Probably not. It was all a grift. But even though he was a grifter, a hypocrite, had a tiny ego, and at this point had completely ruined his reputation, this wasn't enough for Elon. He wanted to bring it down further. During the celebration of the inauguration of President Trump, Elon made this interesting gesture while thanking everyone for their support. Watch.
You know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, you know, important, some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
All right, so here's the thing. As soon as this happened, it blew up, with some people saying, wait, he doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt at this point. This is a fascist salute. The guy exposed himself. While others argued that it was just an awkward Roman salute. Regardless of what it was so awkward that he should have just never done it. Many people's eyes were on the anti-Jewish defamation leak, seeing what they'll say about it. And what they had to say was that it seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. But again, we appreciate that people are on edge. But this obviously was a controversial viewpoint, with people calling the ADL cowards. To many, this was as blatant as it can get. After this happened, 100 of some of the biggest subreddits on Reddit boycotted any links to Twitter, or X. I guess I should start calling it X. Ultimately, Elon has no one to blame but himself. And today, it seems that his failed grifting attempts are finally catching up to the financial stability of his companies. It turned out recently that Elon had sent an email to X staff saying that they're in a very dire situation from a revenue standpoint. And Tesla, for the first time ever, has witnessed an annual sales drop in 2025. It seems that Elon Musk has successfully gone from the main character of Tony Stark to a lame generic Marvel villain. He saw all the praise he was getting online, but it wasn't enough for him. He wanted to be worshipped as the savior of humanity. But through his actions and his attitude only got laughed out of the room, which to me sounds like a perfect villain origin story. His past got exposed, and instead of being this genius, charismatic guy with a lot of different interests, it became apparent. This guy is none other than a glorified grifter with a lot of money on his hands. I only see his reputation getting worse as he further devolves his own public image, now showing an interest in European politics. The only way I see him escaping is by hiring the same public relations company that Zuckerberg hired, that somehow made him go from alien to somewhat of a human. But until then, I don't see anything changing. It'll only get worse. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video whenever that is. Love you. Mwah.